Module.
Module.
A module in mathematics. You choose 5 modules in the first year.
Modus operandi.
Modus operandi.
Modus vivendi.
Modus vivendi.
Moggy.
Moggy.
Mogul. Mogul.
Mohair.
Mohair.
A mohair sweater.
Mohammed.
Mohammed.
Mohican.
Mohican.
A Mohican haircut.
Moi.
Moi.
Difficult? Moi? Moiety.
Moiety.
Moir.
Moir.
Moist.
Moist.
Make sure the soil is moist before planting the seeds. Make sure the soil is moist before planting the seeds.
A rich, moist chocolate cake. Warm, moist air. Her eyes were moist.
Moisten.
Moisten.
Moisten the clay if it seems too dry.
She moistened her lips.
Moisture.
Moisture.
Plants use their roots to absorb moisture from the soil.
Your skin's moisture content varies according to weather conditions. Your skin's moisture content varies according to weather conditions.
Moisturize.
Moisturize.
You should cleanse, tone and moisturize every day for healthy-looking skin. You should cleanse, tone and moisturize every day for healthy-looking skin.
Moisturizer.
Moisturizer.
Mojo. Mojo. Has he lost his mojo?
Molar.
Molar.
Molasses.
Molasses.
Mold.
Mold.
Molder.
Molder.
Molding.
Molding.
Moldy.
Moldy.
Mole.
Mole.
Molecule.
Molecule.
The molecules of oxygen gas contain just 2 atoms.
Molecular structure.
Molehill.
Molehill.
Moleskin.
Moleskin.
Moleskin trousers.
Molest.
Molest.
Men who molest young boys.
A dog that was molesting sheep. A dog that was molesting sheep.
Sexual molestation.
Mole.
Mall.
Gangster's Mall.
Mollify.
Mollify.
He attempted to mollify her.
Mole. Mollify.
He attempted to mollify her.
Nature reserves were set up around new power stations to mollify local conservationists. Nature reserves were set up around new power stations to mollify local conservationists.
Mollusk.
Mollusk.
Snails and other mollusks.
Molluscan prey.
Mollycoddle.
Mollycoddle.
He'd been mollycoddled as a young boy. He'd been mollycoddled as a young boy. Molotov cocktail.
Molotov cocktail. Molotov cocktail.
Molt.
Molt.
Molten.
Molten.
Molten iron.
Molto.
Molto.
Molybdenum.
Molybdenum.
Mom.
Mom.
Mom, can I go over to Lisa's house? My mom says I have to stay home tonight.
Mom and Pop.
Mom and Pop.
A real mom and pop restaurant.
Moment.
Moment.
It was one of the most exciting moments in his life.
Just at that moment, there was a knock on the door.
She may be in trouble at this very moment and trying to call you.
I remembered the moment when I first saw him after the operation. I just this moment arrived and already Dan wants to know when I'm leaving. I just this moment arrived and already Dan wants to know when I'm leaving. I just this moment arrived and already Dan wants to know when I'm leaving. At this moment in time, it would be inappropriate to comment on the situation.
From that moment on, we were the best of friends.
He was here a moment ago.
Can you spare a few moments to answer some questions? I'll come back to that point in a moment.
It was quiet for a moment, then Ray spoke.
I don't understand, said Louise after a moment.
A moment later, we heard a splash. Just a moment. Let me put these away first. We have to be ready to leave at a moment's notice.
Julia's on holiday in Spain at the moment. Julia's on holiday in Spain at the moment. At the moment, the situation in Haiti is very tense.
Well, for the moment, we're just friends.
For the moment, the rain had stopped.
He said he'd phone you the moment he got home.
The operation was cancelled at the last moment.
She always leaves everything to the last moment.
The plumber should be here any moment now.
The roof could collapse at any moment.
His wife, Denise, was there to share his big moment. His wife, Denise, was there to share his big moment.
He picked his moment carefully to tell them the news.
This was her moment, and she knew she had to take it.
In a moment of madness, I agreed to go with him. He experienced a brief moment of panic.
One moment she's kissing me, the next she doesn't want to see me again.
You never know what's going to happen from one moment to the next.
He didn't fool me for a moment.
She had never for one moment imagined that it could happen to her. She had never for one moment imagined that it could happen to her.
They interview personalities on a topic of the moment. They interview personalities on a topic of the moment.
The mood of the moment. A movie that had its moments.
Short hairstyles are having a moment.
The ambulance finally arrived, and not a moment too soon.
Momentarily.
Momentarily.
She was momentarily lost for words.
Jimmy paused momentarily.
Mr. Johnson will be with you momentarily.
Momentary.
Momentary.
There was a momentary pause.
Momentous.
Momentous.
A momentous decision.
Momentous events are taking place in the U.S. His colleagues all recognized that this was a momentous occasion.
One of the most momentous days in British sport.
Momentum.
Momentum.
The campaign for reform should start to gather momentum in the new year.
Incentives to maintain the momentum of European integration.
Governments often lose momentum in their second term of office. The momentum of increasing immigration. The momentum towards economic union.
The wheel was allowed to roll down the slope, gathering momentum as it went.
Pratt, without losing any momentum at all, passed them both and won the race.
The momentum of a particle.
Mama.
Mama.
Mummy.
Mommy.
Mummy track.
Mommy track.
Missed this one. Monarch.
Monarch.
The old monarchical system.
Monarchist.
Monarchist.
Monarchy.
Monarchy.
The abolition of the monarchy.
People are going to be questioning the role of the monarchy more and more.
Monastery.
Monastery.
Monastic.
Monastic.
The monastic life.
A monastic community.
Roman Catholic monastic orders.
He led a rather monastic lifestyle.
Early medieval monasticism.
Monday.
Monday.
It was raining on Monday.
The President announced Monday that he would cancel the debt.
Let's go out for a meal on Monday night. Kelly arrived last Monday.
The UK office will open for business this Monday.
Shall we meet next Monday? My birthday's on a Monday this year.
Monetarism.
Monetarism.
The monetarism of the 1980s.
A monetarist view of the economy.
Monetary.
Monetary.
The government's tight monetary policy.
Objects of little monetary value.
Monetize.
Monetize.
Money. Money.
Don't spend all your money on the first day of your holiday.
The repairs will cost quite a lot of money. The repairs will cost quite a lot of money. You'll find some money in my purse.
I didn't have any money on me.
Don't forget to get some Swiss money before you leave.
We can change some money at the airport.
The family made their money in the woolen trade.
He had lost all his money gambling. It sounds quite an interesting job, but I don't know what the money's like yet. You have to work long hours, and the money's terrible.
Don't let the children jump around on the sofa. I paid good money for that.
No one's going to put money into the company while the market is so unstable.
There's a lot of money in sport these days.
Teaching can be very rewarding, but there's no money in it.
Unless you've got money to burn, these expensive guitars are probably not for you.
At that price, you want to make sure you get your money's worth.
For my money, he's one of the best TV comedians ever.
You were right on the money when you said that he would have to resign.
Moneybags.
Moneybags.
Money belt.
Money belt.
Moneybox.
Moneybox.
Moneyed.
Moneyed.
The moneyed classes.
Money grabbing.
Money grabbing.
People who are exploited by money-grabbing employers.
Money laundering.
Money laundering.
The country is a major centre for money laundering.
He will now face trial on money laundering charges.
Moneylender.
Moneylender.
Most of his fortune came from money lending.
Moneymaker.
Moneymaker.
Money-making schemes.
Money market.
Money market.
Money order.
Money order.
Money spinner.
Money spinner.
We're hoping the show will be a real money spinner.
Money supply.
Money supply.
His policy of controlling the money supply and cutting public spending.
Monger. Monger.
A fishmonger. The rumour mongers have been busy again.
The economic gloom mongers.
Mongol.
Mongol.
Mongoose.
Mongoose.
Mongrel.
Mongrel.
Moneyed.
Moneyed.
Monies.
Monies.
If we are no longer able to provide the holiday you booked, we will return to you all monies paid.
Moniker.
Moniker.
Monitor.
Monitor.
Patients who are given the new drug will be asked to monitor their progress.
The government is monitoring the situation closely. The temperature is carefully monitored.
We need a better system for monitoring what is going on.
He suspected that his phone calls were being monitored.
She was staring at her computer monitor.
We could watch what was happening on the TV monitor.
A heart monitor.
The noise monitor recorded 98 decibels.
UN monitors will remain in the country to supervise the elections. The UN is sending peace monitors to the area.
Monk.
Monk.
Monkey.
Monkey.
Stop that, you little monkey.
To be honest, I don't give a monkeys what they do.
Stop monkeying around and listen to me.
Monkey bars.
Monkey bars.
Monkey nut.
Monkey nut.
Monkey shines.
Monkey shines.
Monkey wrench.
Monkey wrench.
Mono.
Mono.
An old mono recording.
Mono. Mono.
A monoplane.
A monolingual dictionary.
Monochrome.
Monochrome.
We looked out over the grey monochrome landscape.
A monochrome computer monitor.
Monocle.
Monocle.
Monogamy.
Monogamy.
Monogamy is rare in most animal groups, but is common among birds.
We live in a monogamous society.
Monogram.
Monogram.
Monograph.
Monograph.
Monolingual.
Monolingual.
A monolingual dictionary.
Monolith.
Monolith.
It is misleading to see the legal system as a monolith.
Monolithic.
Monolithic.
A monolithic movie company.
Monologue.
Monologue.
Henry looked up, then continued his monologue.
Monomania.
Monomania.
An obsession with food that verged on monomania.
Mononucleosis.
Mononucleosis.
Monoplane.
Monoplane.
Monopolistic.
Monopolistic.
The company wants to maintain its monopolistic position.
Monopolize.
Monopolize.
The company has monopolized the soft drinks market.
He monopolized the conversation all evening.
Virtually all her time and energy is now monopolized by the children.
Monopoly.
Monopoly.
You know how much it costs to buy an apartment in Tokyo? It's monopoly money.
Monopoly.
They are demanding an end to the Communist Party's monopoly of power.
The state monopoly of television.
For years, Bell Telephone had a monopoly on telephone services in the U.S. For years, Bell Telephone had a monopoly on telephone services in the U.S.
A monopoly in copper trading.
The company is a state-owned monopoly.
Teachers do not have a monopoly on educational debate.
Monorail.
Monorail.
Monosodium glutamate.
Monosodium glutamate.
Monosyllable.
Monosyllable.
Monosyllabic.
Monosyllabic.
He made monosyllabic replies to my questions.
Monotheism.
Monotheism.
Monotheistic religions.
Monotone.
Monotone.
He answered all the lawyer's questions in a dull monotone.
Monotonous.
Monotonous.
A monotonous diet.
A little boy who wet his bed with monotonous regularity.
The rain poured monotonously out of the grey sky. The rain poured monotonously out of the grey sky.
Monotony.
Monotony.
She wanted to escape the monotony of her everyday life. He suggested a card game to relieve the monotony of the journey.
Monoxide.
Monoxide.
Monsieur.
Monsieur.
Monsieur Lacombe?
Monsignor.
Monsignor.
Monsignor Delgar.
Monsoon.
Monsoon.
Monstering. Monster.
Monster.
The remains of a prehistoric monster.
The search for the Loch Ness Monster.
Only a monster could kill all those women.
I've got to get home and feed this little monster.
Did you see the fish Dad caught? It was a monster.
There's a monster of a spider in the bath.
A monster cat. The song was a monster hit.
Monstering.
Monstering.
The player got a monstering from his manager. Monstering. Monstering.
Monstrosity.
Monstrosity.
A concrete monstrosity.
Monstrous.
Monstrous.
It's monstrous to charge that much for a hotel room. Such monstrous injustice is hard to understand.
A monstrous nose.
A monstrous shadow on the stairs.
He was ugly and monstrously fat.
It was monstrously unfair.
Montage.
Montage.
A montage of flowers. A photo montage.
Month.
Month.
Phil is coming home for a visit next month.
She'll be 13 this month.
I hope I'll have finished the work by the end of the month.
She earns about £350 a month.
We update the schedule at least once a month. She has an 8-month-old daughter.
He'll be away for 2 months.
The symptoms she suffered varied from month to month. A month-long transport strike.
Redecorating the kitchen took months.
I haven't seen him for months.
I felt I was doing the same old thing week after week, month after month.
Unemployment figures are rising month by month.
You won't find anyone to do that job in a month of Sundays. Monthly.
Monthly.
The mortgage is payable in monthly instalments.
A monthly publication.
A monthly salary of $850.
A monthly rainfall of 4 inches. They meet monthly to discuss progress.
A leading woman's monthly.
Monty.
Monty.
Monument.
Monument.
He erected a monument on the spot where his daughter was killed. He erected a monument on the spot where his daughter was killed.
A fitting monument to the men who died in the battle. A fitting monument to the men who died in the battle.
Ancient monuments are protected by law.
The company is a monument to Sir Peter's energy and vision.
Monumental.
Monumental.
A monumental contribution to the field of medicine.
Charles Darwin's monumental study, The Origin of Species.
Banks and building societies were yesterday accused of monumental incompetence.
A monumental task.
There was a monumental traffic jam on the freeway.
A monumental arch.
Monumentally.
Monumentally.
It was a monumentally stupid thing to do.
Moo.
Moo.
Moobs. Moobs.
Mooch.
Mooch.
He tried to mooch a drink off me.
Beth was happy to mooch around for hours in her nightdress. Beth was happy to mooch around for hours in her nightdress.
Mood.
Mood.
You're in a good mood this morning.
The general mood of depression in the office.
He's been in a real mood all day.
Don't talk to her. She's in one of her moods.
We really felt in the mood for a party. We really felt in the mood for a party.
I don't want to talk about it now. I'm not in the mood.
I was in no mood for a joke.
George was in no mood to be sociable.
He used to visit them when the mood took him. He used to visit them when the mood took him.
The opening shot of dark, rainy streets sets the mood for the whole film. The opening shot of dark, rainy streets sets the mood for the whole film. The opening shot of dark, rainy streets sets the mood for the whole film.
Mood altering.
Mood altering.
Mood music.
Mood music.
Moody.
Moody.
Keith had seemed moody all morning.
A moody teenager.
Lewis was moody and brilliantly clever.
The moody grey sea in the dawn light.
She was staring moodily into the fire.
Moolah.
Moolah.
Moon. Moon.
The craters on the surface of the moon.
The Americans landed on the moon in 1969.
The moon appeared from behind a cloud. The moon rose into the sky. The moon was shining in the sky. It was the night of the full moon.
A clear night with a bright moon. A thin crescent moon.
The moons of Saturn.
There's no point in crying for the moon.
She's over the moon about her new job.
It all happened many moons ago.
I wish you'd stop mooning about and do something useful. I wish you'd stop mooning about and do something useful.
She sits mooning over his photograph for hours. She sits mooning over his photograph for hours.
Moonbeam.
Moonbeam.
Moonboot.
Moonboot.
Moonless.
Moonless.
A cloudy, moonless night.
Moonlit.
Moonlit.
A moonlit garden.
Moonscape.
Moonscape.
Moonshine.
Moonshine.
He regarded her plans as romantic moonshine.
Moonstone.
Moonstone.
A moonstone necklace.
Moonstruck.
Moonstruck.
Moor.
Moor.
They went grouse shooting up on the moors. They went grouse shooting up on the moors. The Yorkshire moors.
2 or 3 fishing boats were moored alongside the pier.
Moorhen.
Moorhen.
Mooring.
Mooring.
The great ship slipped her moorings and slid out into the Atlantic.
A temporary mooring.
Moorish.
Moorish.
Moorish architecture.
Moorland.
Moorland.
Large areas of open moorland.
A bleak moorland road.
Moose.
Moose.
Moot.
Moot.
Whether these controls will really reduce violent crime is a moot point. Whether these controls will really reduce violent crime is a moot point.
The fear that airstrikes could endanger troops is moot now that the army is withdrawing. The fear that airstrikes could endanger troops is moot now that the army is withdrawing. The fear that airstrikes could endanger troops is moot now that the army is withdrawing.
The question of changing the membership rules was mooted at the last meeting. The question of changing the membership rules was mooted at the last meeting.
Moot court.
Moot court.
Mop.
Mop.
A mop and bucket.
He ran a hand through his mop of fair hair. He ran a hand through his mop of fair hair.
She carried on mopping the floor. It was so hot he had to keep stopping to mop his face.
The doctor mopped his brow with a handkerchief.
She gently mopped the blood from the wound.
He mopped the sweat from his face.
She mopped the tears away with a lacy handkerchief.
We mopped the floor with the team from Pomona High.
Mop the sauce up with your bread.
He mopped up the spilt milk.
The usual solution is to send in infantry to mop up any remaining opposition. The usual solution is to send in infantry to mop up any remaining opposition.
The rebellion has been crushed, but mopping up operations may take several weeks. The rebellion has been crushed, but mopping up operations may take several weeks.